Hello and welcome back. Today's video is going to be a game changer in the way you build your apps with Flutterflow because we are going to be talking on how to easily synchronize your offline SQLite database to either Firebase or Supabase and even achieve two-way synchronization. Just stick around. In a few minutes, you're going to have a lot of sauce. Let's address the fact, why would you even need SQLite database? Let's take, for example, you have an application that's being used by multiple users and you don't always want to be like writing to Firebase because of the limits and the pricing. You can consider doing something like having it on an SQLite database, and then after a periodic, like after every period before you push to Firebase. SQLite is very powerful because it allows you to store and retrieve data directly on the user's device, and it can enhance performance of your app and do a lot of things. Now, Flutterflow released this integration just about a week ago, and there's been a lot of questions in the community how to achieve two-way synchronization. So real quick, I'm just going to give you like a base template that you can adapt to whatever scenario that you want to do. And if you understand the concept, you can manipulate it and use it for whatever application that you are building with Flutterflow. This video is going to guide you step by step through how you can set up SQLite in your Flutterflow project and then take it further by doing two-way synchronization with Supabase. I chose Supabase to demonstrate here, but the same concept can apply to to Firebase. So before we dive into everything, be sure to like subscribe, hit the subscribe button and turn on notification and like this video, I guess. Anyways, after you find the value that it provides you, you can like. So before anything, I would just like to show you real quick how the application works. So for this demonstration, I'm just going to show you how we can make use. This is a simple application like a sales app that can allow you to sell both online and offline. So in this case, this is the web browser. And on the right here, we have like this phone that I've connected. So as you can see, this is the online here on this section, and then here you can have what the online same version on the app if like say the user is using the app online to buy items. We currently have 192 mangoes. So if I click on here on the admin section on this phone, as you have seen, this is online. Take the item Shivas, there's 200 Shivas, this is it here, there's 200, and here the same is showing, is reflecting the same 200 items here. So if I click on buy here, I expect this item to reduce by 1. So Shivas, let's buy. Now it has gone to 199. Well, let me just navigate real quick. The admin is going to be seeing 199 Shivas, as you can see down here. But offline, it's going to still be showing 200. So before, the data was synchronized between online, both online and offline. So offline is like the SQLite. So if I come here, you can see check for updates. If I click on this check for updates, it's going to show me the item that has been updated. So this Shivas, then I can choose to synchronize. Let's say somebody online here buys more things. Let's say we buy Mimbo, that's reduced. We buy another Mimbo again. We buy one avocado. So that's 3 items that have been bought, right? So expect to see the same thing here. Online, if we click on check updates, you should see 3 items. These are the 3 items that have been modified, by the way. So we need to synchronize it with the offline version of the application. So I'm going to come here, check updates, we get this, then I click on sync. Then it's going to successfully sync, and offline here, you should have the same number of items as those that are available online. So check. We have 192 mango, 18 banana, 199 Shivas, 28 Mimbo, and 204 avocado, both ways. Now let's take for example that I go offline. Like let me disconnect this phone from the internet. So now we're unable to load the online products here on the phone. The admin now cannot see, like you say you are offline, please connect. This is just a typical example. Now this is the other way sync, like syncing from the offline database to online. So we have this. Let's say I add a new product, for example, because that's what I as an admin of the platform I can do. So this app helps you to sell both offline and online. So let's say I add a new product. Let me add a new product here, say milk 5, for example. I want to add 20 milk. Oh, anyways, let's put milk under the wine category. Just permit me here. And I'm going to click on add product. Now you see immediately we add that product. Let me come back here. Immediately add that product. Milk is appearing under here. 20 items of milk, and then we have out of date requesting us to synchronize to online. So if I click on sync, the same thing is going to tell us, hey, this is the item that I want to sync. Then remember here there is no milk item on this web platform. Whatsoever thing the users will be seeing, they will not be seeing that item. So we click on sync and then we synchronize. Now it cannot go because we are not connected. Synchronize cannot go because we are not connected. So we need to connect back to the internet. As you can see here, it's just showing this offline above. So let's connect back to the internet. I'm going to turn on the hotspot, the Wi-Fi, and give it a second to connect. Okay, so it's now showing connected. Now if I come back to this offline and I click on sync, I can now synchronize this to Firebase. Then if I refresh here, I should be able to see that the item, what do we add, milk, has been added, just like you are seeing it here. This is online for all the items. So now have milk here added. So that's how the application is going to work. Let's dive into it. Let me show you how to set up and get everything working. So first up, I'd like to call your attention to this diagram. It is very, very important how you structure your database if you want to achieve two-way synchronization. So in this case, we have categories, products, and others. Anyways, I did not make mention of others because we're not going to be using that a lot, this demonstration purpose. So an item or a product belongs to a category. And now the fields I have under my category are the name, obviously the ID, which is a primary key, the name, last updated, and last sync timestamp. Now we're working with two-way data sync. You want to know the last time that data was updated or modified, and you want to know the last time that the data was synchronized. So by synchronizing, I mean like the last time that we make the online and the offline record to match, to be identical, and the last time that something is modified either offline or online. You need to make use of that. That is why I'm using these data fields, these table fields. These table columns called last updated and last sync timestamp. So last updated is going to show us everywhere the last time that a particular record was updated. Then the last sync timestamp is going to show us the last time that that data was synchronized, whether be it from online to offline or offline to online. Anyways, so then product have name. Let's get into it. So from here, one good thing is this is DB diagram. You can just come here and just draft out your database, and then you can easily export into Postgres SQL that you can use for Supabase to just create your tables, or MySQL that you can use for SQLite to create your tables. If you haven't already, I have a very good video that I spoke about how to set up SQLite. So you want to check that up here. Anyways, the tool that we are going to be using to set up the SQLite database is this thing, DB browser. Let's get back to Flutterflow. As you can see here on Flutterflow, this is the interface I already have. And one thing we need to do is to configure our Supabase and SQLite database. So for SQLite database, you may want to come here on settings. Then you come here to SQLite, this is a integration. Then database configuration. Here you need to upload your database file. Now, to prepare this database file, I have a video, as I mentioned. You can check it out, how to go about it. But this is the database file that we have. We have a data structure, we have categories, orders, product, SQL. So I'm just going to come here, like new database, for example. I select where I want to save it. Then it's currently empty. I'm just going to exit this, then run, execute an SQL. I'm going to execute an SQL to create all the tables. The tables are exported from that DB diagram that we have online here. From here, the table that I exported from here. So let's get that. Now, if I just execute this, this is automatically going to create my record, my table and my database and whatnot. So if I come here to browse data, it's currently empty. Database structure, this is what we have here. So this is how I prepared my database. If you want to currently see, for example, how it actually looks, you can say modify table and you have all of this. So back on Flutterflow here, we are going to upload this database, and then we create our queries. Now, one useful thing that I've learned to do is right here, I can use this execute query to prepare all my queries. Take, for example, I need to be able to insert a product. I need to be able to insert a category. I need to be able to update a category or update a product when somebody buys and whatnot. So I can use this section to prepare all my SQL queries. Anyways, so here for the read queries, I have get all categories. This is just read select all from categories. I get all products, I get all data, get category changes. Now, before we get into this second section, let me show you something. To set up Supabase, I have my Supabase keys here. Then the same database structure that I have on my SQLite is the same database structure that I have on Supabase. So that is very, very important so that we can like match the fields and whatnot. We've done all of this configuration, this initial configuration to set up the database. Yeah. What do we need to do? We need, for example, say the two things need to happen. If we create a product, since we'll be the admin of the application, if we create a product offline, we need a way of knowing that that product has been created offline and it's not available online, for example. So that's where these queries comes in. Like on this SQLite, I have a query here that say updates. This query that adds a category. We use this to create a category. Just insert into category. We have a query that adds a product. It inserts. Therefore, it takes these parameters. Then it runs this SQL query, and so on and so forth. Now, if somebody buys, what do we want to do? We need to like reduce the number of quantity of that product, and then yeah, execute the order. So this is it, update product sync. Here, for example, I'm just simply getting, where is it, update product. I'm simply getting the quantity in stock and the ID to do that. Let's get into the user interface. So from here, what I'm doing is I'm just simply, this is a front facing section of the app. This is what users are going to be seeing. So I should load this data from Supabase. So I have this container that queries a Supabase row or list of rows, and it queries categories to display the categories of items. Then I have this next container down here and a list view that queries the list of product and then just presents the amount of product that we have on this beautiful list view here, as you can see. Now here's where the magic starts happening. If we click on buy, if you click on buy here, what do I want to do? Let's go to the action of the admin, when the admin is supposed to create like all these categories and whatnot. So we are going to come to this other admin page. So by the way, I'm sorry if I cannot walk you like step by step on how I did everything, but it's very important that you just like watch or try to get the point. So this is the admin dashboard. First off, here we want to check like if the user has internet connection or not. And yeah, I got this beautiful custom code by Search from the community. This is it, check internet connection. It's just a couple of lines, but it's very, very helpful and it works very well. So what it does is it checks if the user has internet connection and then returns either true or false. So this is the code. So this is the action it does is it check for internet connection and then return the results. So here I'm just checking, and then if the user is online, I display this banner with saying online, and if they are offline, I display the banner saying offline, whatever. There are just some conditions happening there. Now for the online, I have these two tabs for online and offline. So for this online, I do the same thing. I just read these values from the online database. I read these values from the online database, which is Supabase, right? Then if you click on add category here, I open this end drawer so that I can add a category. Now, if you're online, so there's these two buttons. This button will either be displayed depending on whether you're online or offline. So if you're online, then there's no need, and you're the admin, there is no need for us to only create an item online. We can just create the item both online and offline. You understand? So create the item both on Supabase and on your SQLite database. And to create an item, you need to prepare that query to do the insert into product whatsoever. So this is the back end that does insert into Supabase. What I simply do is I just insert the category name. Then I also update the last updated so that it shows like, hey, this field was lastly updated at this particular time. And then now the last sync time will be empty, right? So when it's empty, it shows like, hey, this data has not been synced or whatsoever. But yeah, backend query, I make a backend SQLite call to do the same thing to create a category, and then I refresh my database and close the drawer. Now, this other button here, this black button, what it simply does is if you're online, like if you're not online, as you see the condition here, if you're not online in negation, if you're not online, what it's going to do is this button is going to be displayed, and when you click on this button, it's going to just create that item on the SQLite database. So it's just going to add a category to SQLite. Similar thing to when you want to add a product. So this is the same thing happening this way that way you want to add a product. So you click on add product here, it's going to add the product to insert the row and insert the last updated time whatsoever, SQLite whatsoever, and do like insert both on Supabase and the SQLite database. Insert the product there. Then this category here, it's very important. I have two categories. One is called online category and one is called offline category. So when you are creating a product, depending on whether you are connected online or not, again, this is just like some UI changes, UI manipulation that I'm doing. That's not like the core thing. This is just UI manipulation. I'm just trying to explain so that you know how you are manipulating, or you can structure your UI based on how you want your functionality to be. So we have this category, online category, that thanks to Flutterflow now we can set default on drop down. We have it gets the category from the online database, yeah, from Supabase, list of categories, and then this offline instead reads from our offline SQLite database. And depending on whether you're online or offline, these buttons are going to show. So if you're online, this button is going to show and it's going to create the product both online and offline. But if you are offline, this button is going to show, the black one is going to show, and it's only going to create that product using this offline category. This offline category has a conditional visibility whether you're online or offline. So here, let me see, this is it. Whether you're online or offline, this drop down has that conditional visibility. So you click on add here, it's going to add that product on the offline database. So here on this page, another logic that I have going on here is when the user just simply visits the page, what do? I check for internet connection, I update the page state whether they are connected or not. If they are online, they stay on the first tab. If they are offline, they go to the second tab, therefore the offline tab. Again, that's just for UI purposes. Now, here's where the magic starts happening. Let's take, for example, on this first page, a user buys an item, right? What do we want to do? We want to decrement the number. Again, this is quantity. This quantity in stock just shows this place. It just shows the number of products that we have, then the name, the description, and the price. So if a user buy, like the whole idea is they can just buy one item at a time. So if a user buys an item, what do we want to do? We want to decrement that item, the number of items from the database. And again, we're talking about online. So this is an online user buying. So what do we do here? We update the products row. Quantity in stock will be this code expression, the initial quantity minus 1. That's what I'm just doing here. That is going to decrement that quantity in stock. And then we need to update the last updated time. Remember, last updated is now. Again, at this stage, after we do that, we want to do a backend call to create a new order, like having the order ID and whatnot whatsoever. Now, how do I synchronize from online to offline? This is where the question comes. How do I synchronize from online to offline? So I have this SQLite query. Let me show you. That checks for data offline, like if there are any modified data on the offline database. So let me say read queries I have here. Say get product changes. This is what it's called. So what it takes in no variable, then it returns these various columns. So what it does is it says select from products where last updated is greater than last seen timestamp. Anyways, all of this realization, I had all of this code because I realized like just simply equating. Let me demonstrate it here. So take for example, this last seen timestamp is empty. So definitely this last updated is greater than it, right? This is my DB view. I don't know if I can zoom in, like just put it like this. I don't know if you can see. Yeah. So this is my DB viewer here, and I have these items in these categories. I have these items in products. Let me say I delete this date last seen timestamp. Let me delete this date. For example, last updated here should be definitely greater than last seen timestamp. Now, if I execute this SQL query like this, say hey, select all from, how can I magnify this thing? View, zoom in. I don't know. Anyway, select all from products where last updated is greater than if I leave something like last seen timestamp. Therefore, to get a product that the last updated time is greater than the last time that it was synced. Therefore, it means this thing has just been modified, right? So I'm going to run that, and it's giving us these values. But remember, it's just giving us all of these items because this last sync times time is empty. Now, as you can see here, let's say I try to insert a new product. Say I want to insert into products name, description, quantity in stock category, where let me put this name to be new, for example. Product description, let me give it a category of say 2. I don't know if we have category of 2. Do we have? Yes, we have. Okay. So this is a query and I run this. It's going to insert that data. So we have a new product. Now, if I come to browse data, I really hope you can see this very well. And I go to products, we have this new that has been inserted. Now you see that the last sync timestamp is equal to null, right? So the last sync timestamp is equal to null. But if I come back to execute query here, and I just leave this default, this thing, select all from product where um last sync time where last updated is equal to is equal to last sync timestamp. If I run this, let me show you how I came up with like this query. If I run this, we are not going to get anything, right? We are not going to get anything because if we come here to browse data, this we are trying to equate this against null. But remember, our insert query automatically leaves the last sync timestamp field to be null. So that is why we need to use this query, this function, SQL function for coalesce. I don't know if that's how they're pronouncing it, but we're saying either use the value available on last sync timestamp or use the beginning of time. You know, the Unix timestamp started counting time from 1970, the first of first. So we are using like either use the value here or the beginning of time. And so if we execute this query now, something is wrong. Let me execute again. Yeah, okay. Now we are going to get that one value like the 5, the new item that was just added. And that is what we want. That is how we need to prepare this query to check for values that are or for any new update that is available on the products table on our offline database. That is how we can execute that query. So every time we run this, it's going to fetch and tell us, hey, is there any value that has not been synced? Like the last sync timestamp was greater than, sorry, the last updated time is greater than the last sync timestamp. Now, again, another useful thing, if I come here, say this value, and then I update something, let's say the last updated time, I change it from, let's say from 11:53 to 11:58, which is definitely, then I apply, which is definitely greater than 11:54. If we execute this query again, we should have 2 items because that other item, the last updated time is greater than the last sync timestamp. So run. Now we have 2 values. So that's how we can keep track of changes that happen on our offline database based on the last time that an item was updated and the last time that it was synced. Now you have seen how you can listen for offline changes and see the items that have been changed. You might be wondering how to do the same for online, like Supabase, for example. In this case, with Supabase, we cannot query like look at this. We cannot query where, although the statement looks the same, where say where a last updated time is greater than last sync timestamp whatsoever. But the thing is, we cannot do that here. We cannot say filter at a filter of saying where last updated the time is greater than. Now we must specify a specific value here. That is the problem. We need to filter more than one item of where this time this condition match. So there are various options to do it. I had to struggle a lot with that, but one way you can do it is either through an API call. So I have an API call here with all of this, with all the conditions set up here. But I do not want to do it that way. Well, I only came about the API call because I struggled so much to do it using custom action, which I finally did, by the way, and I'm using custom action for it and not the API call because it's much more faster and just easier to do. So I have this check Supabase update. Where is it? Yes, give me a second. Okay. Check Supabase update. Now these comments just show you like how much struggle I had to struggle with that. So like the development process is not just that easy. No matter how I'm making this video, it took some time to figure this out. So these are like comments and this is what actually works. So, so it took me quite some time to actually get this code running. But yeah, whatever thing it did or whatever thing it's doing, it's supposed to do what it's doing. Get the data where the last updated time is greater than the last timestamp. You may be thinking like, why did I not just do something like where last timestamp is greater than like the normal greater than that we have, something like last timestamp is greater than where is that example? I think I commented it out, but that did not work, or that did not work, no way. So I had to find this code that worked, and now that we have that, that is how we get this custom code that can fetch online changes and see when something has been modified. So in your own application, you have to like figure out like whatsoever query, Supabase query works. I think Supabase has a very good documentation course. That's what helped me to come out with that code. But yeah, you can write that and then query your database and get whatever filtering that you want to achieve. So I have an SQLite query here that updates products. So it receives the ID of the product and the quantity in stock. So you know if a user is buying online, the quantity is being modified. So just depending on if you want to pass in like all the parameters of that product. But now we don't want our users to modify like say the product name or whatsoever. When they just buy, the quantity has to reduce. So we are passing this and then we are updating products. The set quantity in stock equal to the new quantity in stock, therefore the data that we got from online where the ID matches. Now again, a good place to test all your queries. You can test all your queries here to actually see that they work before you implement it on Flutterflow because there's no like error handling here implemented so far. And yeah, this process like it's very cumbersome, but yeah, that's what you have to do. So back to our logic here. So when we click on sync for our offline, sorry, for to sync our online changes to the on our online changes to the offline database, what happens? I have a loop here. I have a loop here, as you can see. So first off, I update the component state with the current timestamp. So I have a state here. So I just say, okay, now this action is about to begin. So I update that state. Now, this is my loop. I also have a page state called index, which is currently default as 0. So we have here a page state, sorry, a component state, which is currently at 0. When you click on sync, what it does is it just simply update the current time to be this. Then now this is my loop condition. So my loop condition says for index less than code expression, this code expression just simply takes the length. Remember, an array is from 0, starts from 0. So we need to make sure that the length minus 1 so that it doesn't run out of the array. So if that index is less than the length of that array minus 1, then what do we want to do? We want to do an SQLite update product call where the quantity in stock is equal to the item at that particular index, like the returned item that we had from our custom action that fetched all the updated items from Supabase. The item at that specific index, the JSON part quantity in stock, this is the quantity that I want to get, and the ID is JSON part ID. So that's going to give us the current item that we need to update on our offline database. So this is the update. We call this update SQLite query, and that's going to update the product on our offline database. Now, we also need to do a backend call to Supabase to tell, hey, Supabase, like, hey, this product with this ID has been synced. Anyways, this is the best way that I found to do it. Otherwise, you have to go and write like a custom action again to do a lot of things. But this way works. So here we click on, we are just updating the last sync timestamp where the particular product ID is equal to the ID of that product at that particular index. We are updating the last sync timestamp to be that current time that we have saved. This way, the last sync timestamp is definitely greater than the last updated time, and it shows that, hey, a synchronization has happened. Then we are just simply updating the component state again. We increment the index by 1 so that it can loop, the loop can continue. Now, I also run this query called SQLite product sync. Now the SQLite product sync query, what it simply just does is, let me show you, very interesting. Update SQLite product sync. Yeah, this product sync. So it updates products. It set their last sync timestamp to current time, where all the updated last updated time is less than the last sync timestamp. So let me copy this and execute it so that I see how it actually works. So I'm creating a new query here and I paste this here. So currently, if you see this data, all of this last updated is greater than the last sync timestamp. So if I execute this query, it's going to update all products where the last sync timestamp. It's going to update all products their last sync timestamp to be the current timestamp, and the last update where their last updated time is greater than the last sync timestamp. Yeah, run. It has executed successfully. Now if we come here to browse data, you've seen the last sync timestamp is now the current time that we have, which is definitely greater than the last updated time. If I come back here to run this query to fetch for products, now we should definitely get 0 because everything has been synchronized according to that query. Now it's empty here. After updating all of this, we synchronize our data order, but then we'll close the bottom sheet and we show successful. That's just how it works. Now, similar thing too for offline. This is getting our online changes to the offline database. The same thing to happen for when you are offline. Now remember, when you are offline, we need to be able to create any item, any product that you are creating to be available just for the offline database. And how do we notify that data is out of date sync is we just simply run that query that I showed you, like where last updated is greater than this. Now, if anything is returned, then we show this button for them to synchronize. And when they click on sync, it opens up this bottom sheet called items change. Now this is the bottom sheet, this one is black. It does the same thing too. It just gets a list of the items, the new items that has been returned, that has been updated. Then when we click on sync, what it does is it's supposed to insert to Supabase this time. Therefore, I've created a new product. We want to insert it to Supabase. So first of all, it fetches like backend call. We get our product changes, right? The one that times that is greater than this whatsoever. Then we do the same looping again condition, but this time now on this return data. Then we insert into Supabase where the ID, we insert that new data into Supabase because it's a new product that has been created. Then we update component state and then we synchronize that offline table using that query that I showed earlier. So that's just how the thing works. Anyways, I don't think I've left something out, but that's just basically how all of this happens. Then a lot of things here are just like the UI. You need to understand how you can manipulate the UI to get what you want. But yeah, so let me show you real quick how all of it work with an empty database. So I'm going to empty the Supabase and yeah, let's get it. Here, this is my Supabase. I've just deleted all the tables. So if I refresh this, so we currently don't have any items to show here. Then on the device, I'm just going to clear the database. So I'm going to go to storage, clear storage. Yeah. Then I'm opening the app here. So here, this front section, empty. There's no items to display. Then behind here, we cannot have that on web. That's why that is breaking. And here on the phone, this is what we have. We are currently connected, so we are currently online. Now we don't have any categories, orders, or products. So let's start by creating a category. Let's create a category here on the device. So I'm going to click on add category. Remember, when we are connected, when we create a category, it's going to be created both online and offline. Both online and offline. So I'm going to click add a category, then the category, I'm going to call it fruits, right? Add category. Then it's going to be created online. And if you come here to this category table, we refresh this, we have one fruit created. This is Supabase here. Now I'm going to add another category. Let me say fruits and drinks. I don't know. Oh, so we are connected. Let's now go offline and try creating a product, right? So I'm going to go disconnect, and simple navigation is showing me that I'm offline. You see, I cannot load anything here because I'm offline. If I come to this online tab, it's saying you are offline. Please connect to the internet. And so I'm going to add a product called banana. Banana is a fruit this time. Yellow and sweet. Yellow and sweets. The price is 25.8, for example. I want to create 200 banana products. Banana is a fruit, yeah, banana fruits. Then I'm going to add products. We see offline, we have banana added. Now it's showing out of date. Let's sync because it has detected that there's a product that last updated is greater than the last sync timestamp. So this product has not been synced. Let me add another product again. I'm going to add mango. So I've gone ahead and added these products as you can see here. Now if we click on sync, it's showing us the products that have been updated for us to sync. We click sync, nothing is going to happen because we are still offline. Now let's connect the device back to the internet. It's going to fetch the categories, online categories and offline categories are the same, but now this data is out of date, so we need to synchronize it. So we have here, there's no product showing. So if I come here and I come to this offline and I click on sync and actually synchronize, remember this products table on Supabase here, it's currently empty. So I'm going to click sync. And if everything goes well, all of this data should reflect on my Supabase table. So I refresh here. Now you see all of this data has been added because it has been synchronized. Then we no longer have that sync trigger warning here. So if I refresh here to the products should appear. The user wants to buy a banana. We have to currently have 200 banana whatsoever. Let's buy 4 bananas. Be looking at what will happen here on this check update section on the phone where the admin is going to be seeing things. So if I say buy 199, buy 198, let me buy Coke, 1 Coke, and 4 oranges. Now here on the device, when I just come back here, it's going to see underline, this underline value is going to come here to show like, hey, there are some changes online that I need to synchronize. And remember, our offline database is still showing us that we have 200 banana, whereas there's 198 banana. So I'm going to come here, click on check updates. These are the items. Sorry, I forgot to format these dates anyways. Yeah, these are the items that have been updated. Banana, Coca-Cola, and whatnot. So if you click on sync, that should synchronize successfully. And the offline database should now have 198 banana, 49 Coca-Cola, which matches everything. And yeah, our product stays the same. Just to demonstrate, that's just it. Now, if you're online, like I said, if you're online and you want to add a product, it's going to automatically create both online and offline. As you can see, automatically. Anyways, that's just how it is. And yeah, that was it, guys. So if you found this video helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe and probably leave your comments on what you think. And yeah, this whole concept can be adapted to however you want your user flow to be. Maybe you want to synchronize from the user's data to your own online or whatsoever. But that's just like the base concept on how this thing is being done or how you can do it, not like how it's been done. There are so many ways of doing it, definitely. But yeah, let me know what you think and happy Flutterflowing, I guess. I look forward to what you're going to build with two-way synchronization. Thank you very much for watching this video and hey, be sure to subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.